it's me, Imani, and
Linda.
And we're from Quirky Girl Narratives. This week we're going to be doing our top fives. So, top 5 movies, top 5 books, top 5 TV shows. So, let's get to it. Movies.
Okay, yeah. So, top 5 movies that you watch all the time. You want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
My top 5 movies are Amy Foster. And this is a 90s movie starring Rachel Weisz. It's about a young girl named Amy Foster who falls in love with a foreigner. And it's basically a romance novel if you're looking for like a really great romance story to watch that has like great character development and just a sweet, like heartwarming feeling, then watch this movie. And then my second movie that I always love to watch is The New World. And it's basically a Pocahontas story retelling with Kieranka Kilcher and Colin Farrell and some other actors. Christian Bale's in it. I think, yeah, there's some other popular actors in it. And it came out in 2005, and I always rewatch it. Again, it's another romance type story, but I really love it because it's like Pocahontas, but with like real life people, and it's kind of a bit more realistic of like how the whole Pocahontas story would have gone. But yeah.
My first 2 as well. So my first one is probably The Matrix. Mm-hmm. Because, I don't know, I love it. Like the whole, just everything with it. I just love the feel. So the movie came out, I think in 2000. It's like 1999 or 2000. It stars Keanu Reeves and, what's his name? Fishburne.
Oh, Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne's in it. And it's basically about this, it's just this intense story. It's a thriller about this guy named Neo, Mr. Anderson, who basically finds out that the world that he's living in is called the Matrix and it's not real, and that he's plugged in, he's plugged into the machine world, and the Matrix is feeding off of him just like everyone else is, and everyone else is a slave, and he wakes up to the real world, and he has to, like, basically, like, fight the machines and, like, fight society and, like, just all the things that we think are normal, they're not, and he's just, like, doing his thing.
Yeah, so it's ultimate, like, savior, messiah story.
Yeah, love it.
Yes.
Favorite. Then my second is, okay, it's not, like, the best movies in the world or whatever, but, like, they're movies that I grew up watching, and, like, I could watch it all the time. Mm-hmm. So it's The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. So the first one came out probably in 99, and the second one was probably like 2001. And it's basically like this guy and this girl who fall in love, and she's like a librarian, like a scholar, smart girl who's like innocent, and he's like this like criminal, but he's like a good guy, and they like fall in love, and like they have to like stop this mummy who's always trying to take over the world, like get him. And her brother, like, helps them, and then, in, like, the second movie, they have, like, a kid, and it's, like, this whole, like, drama stuff, so it's really good.
Yeah, you like that mythology.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love history.
Yes. I put Matrix as well for the same reasons. I just like the whole, savior mythology, and, like, the basis of every type of hero story, and, like, how the hero's journey he goes through, Neo. And I also picked the movie called Leon the Professional. It's one of, like, Natalie Portman's first movies, and she just basically is a little girl who gets taken in by this hitman, and he teaches her how to be a hitman, but it's not, like, just promoting violence. It's actually, like, kind of heartwarming because he kind of is, like, a father figure to her, and he ultimately, she makes the right choice and decides to, like, okay, I won't spoil it, but, like, you're like, I know, I'm like, what to say, but it's a great, like, action movie with, like, a heartwarming storyline as well. And my final choice is The Fifth Element, because it's, like, a sci-fi film. It's crazy. It's, like, one of the first popular sci-fi films that I watched as a kid. Great.
Yeah, it was 96.
All these crazy cool actors. Chris Tucker, like
Bruce Willis, Mila Jovovich.
Yes, like all these actors that you see
Gary
so
Oldman.
much. Gary Oldman, like, great. And I know some critics kind of dragged it because they didn't like it, but I loved it. For a sci-fi film, it was so entertaining. Great adventure.
There was nothing like it. Like, it was like Star Trek.
And the aesthetics,
yeah.
like, were
and the
so
girl,
cool.
she's like,
yes, I love
I don't know,
her.
she creeped
Plava
me out.
Laguna, like,
That's her name?
Yeah, she's like this alien opera singer, and it's actual opera singer in real life, but like,
Yeah.
It was crazy. I love that.
Oh, my third one is a movie called Ever After, starring Drew Barrymore.
Yes.
That came out like 2001, I think, and it was like, I don't know, it's like your Cinderella story, classic, but they live in like France or something.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, I loved it. Like, she was really tough. She wasn't so innocent like Cinderella usually is. Like, she's really tough. Like, she was throwing apples at him and shit, and like, she was basically like telling him like, I don't care that you're a prince or whatever. So it made him fall in love with her and stuff. And my fourth one is The Fifth Element. Like, come on. Like, how do you not? Like, it was just good from beginning to end. And then my last one is Matilda, because I grew up watching that, and I literally thought that if I was good enough, I'd get powers.
Yes. Okay, so now let's get into top 5 shows
that we currently watch.
Yes. So, you go ahead first.
Okay. So, the first show that I started watching recently, it's because I watched Empire and I liked it, but I stopped watching Empire for a bit just because of school and stuff, but I'm going to get back into it. So the show is called Star, and it's about 3 girls, 2 half-sisters, and 1 girl, and they form this girl group, and it's just so much drama because there's so much history involved in the group that the girls don't even know about, and then it's just what you would do to become a star, and it's just a really good story. There's Queen Latifah, like, let's go. And then even what's her face, Missy Elliott comes in it, and I was like, yes. So it's a really good show. And then a show that I'm still currently watching as well, my second one is Hannibal, because I watched season 1 and 2, and it's really gruesome and crazy, especially season 2. But season 3, I'm still getting through it because I don't want it to end, even though it got canceled. Like, I hold on to it. Yeah, so yeah.
My shows that I like, first 3 are Queen Sugar. It's a new series on OWN. It was inspired by a book. I never read the book, but it's they made some changes apparently, translating it from the book to a TV series. But I just love the cast. It's like a family, a nice wholesome family, but they go through a lot of, problems, drama, but they have like wholesome, loving moments, and you can see that they really care about each other, and I love that when I'm seeing that on TV. And another show that I love is like a sci-fi type fantasy / western. It's called Westworld, and it's like a big hit on HBO this past fall. It's basically for people who haven't seen it, I think the concept is very similar to Jurassic Park, like this theme park where your fantasies can become reality, and like anything you can imagine involving like westerns and like artificial intelligence, like robots can become real, and they seem real. Everything seems real, and you get to kind of like, as long as you're a wealthy patron, you can go there and live out your fantasies and then go back home, kind of escape from reality. So I love that. The next series is Game of Thrones, which is coming back this July. I'm reading the book right now, the first book. I'm still like in the first couple of chapters, but I really love Game of Thrones. It's a great action fantasy type story with like some based off of like some parts of European and Asian and other history. So it's great if you're into history or fantasy or sci-fi or whatever. It's great, yeah.
Okay, so my third is Bates Motel. So it's a story about a boy and a mom and their relationship, and it's like really creepy because they're really close. And it's because I don't want to spoil it, but something happens and they move to this new town, and like the boy and his mom, like they're really close, and you get to see how weird they are together. And she's kind of like his wife, husband, like I don't know, his wife, mother kind of thing. It's like, and then you find out she has another son. He's older, named Dylan, and he comes back and he's kind of jealous of their relationship, but he's kind of creeped out by it as well. It's just like this weird story, but it's really cool because he blacks out and he's starting to like take on his mom's personality and stuff. So
and Rihanna's going to be in it this season.
Yes. Season 5, I think. Yeah, Game of Thrones. Same one as you. Like, I love it. My favorite character, honestly, the beginning when I started off, it was probably Dany, because dragons, and like she was so innocent, and her brother's like, I'm gonna kill him, but he died. So yeah, he was just a horrible guy, and like her love story with Khal Drogo, just the way it was just great. But then it was like Jon Snow, you have to like, because you can't really hate Jon Snow the way he is. It's like, why would you hate him? He doesn't do anything literally. And then, but my favorite is probably Arya. Like, hands down from beginning to end. No, like she just
great.
gives it all. So yeah, it's my girl.
She's a great character. I picked Insecure. It was a show that came out this fall as well on HBO. It's basically based off of this series called Awkward Black Girl created by Issa Rae, and it was on YouTube back in 2009. And she recently got that whole concept for a show, like, and adapted it for TV, and it was picked up by HBO. So it's basically about a young successful black woman, and how she deals with her job, her relationships, and her friendships, and just coming of age, getting close to her 30s. And yeah, it's just a great, like, I can relate because I'm like in my mid-20s as well. And just the whole finding yourself and finding your purpose in life and relationships, all those things you can kind of relate to. But I just love the story writing, character development is something that we haven't really seen that much on TV before. And yeah, another show that I really enjoy is Fortitude. It's basically this show that takes place in Iceland, and it's about it's kind of murder mystery, and it has this eerie feeling because it's shot in Iceland, so you feel kind of like there's nowhere you can run. It's beautiful but also mysterious, and that Iceland is actually one on my bucket list of places to go because it was in this book that I'll mention later, American Gods, that's becoming a TV series. Like, it was shot, there's a lot of parts of the book are in Iceland, so it's a beautiful place, and this show really captures that, but it also captures, like, the dangerous elements too. So yeah, those are my shows.
Okay, so I have one more, and it's Vikings.
Yes.
So I started Vikings. I think I started it maybe a couple months after it was aired, and like I love it so much. My favorite character is Lagertha for sure. And I just love the show. Yeah, Ragnar. Ragnar. Oh my god, I love it.
So
the show's really good. It's like, I don't know, just everything. The fighting is really good. The story, obviously, it follows history, but some of it I'm not sure about. Just like the relationships the relationships are probably like the best thing. And now with season 4, the second part, they added in like the brothers grew up and now they have like a bigger part and they're taking over the show, I guess, as the main cast now. So it's not so much on like Lagertha and stuff, which makes me sad because I love Lagertha. But like I don't know, I just like the relationships. Like, it's a really good show. So for sure. And I like history, so. And Michael Hurst is like the best, so.
So our next series we're going to talk about are the top 5 shows to start.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we want to start.
Yeah,
soon.
we need to start now.
We need to start now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to start off with The Tribe. Technically, I started it, but I want to continue it so I can finally finish it. I started it when I was in 2001, I think, when I was like 11, or it might have been 2000. So it's basically a series about these young people who live in New Zealand, and there's this huge like plague that attacks their city, and all the adults start just dying, and it's a disease that they all seem to be carrying, kind of like The Walking Dead. And once you reach a certain age, so I'd say about 30, you have a chance of dying. Like, most likely you're going to die from this virus. So it's a really interesting story. It's kind of like post-apocalyptic. And you just see how they interact. Some of them have to live in a mall. They have to live in like these random places because they can't live at home anymore. Because it reminds them of their family and their parents who are gone. So it's really great. It was the cast was very diverse, and like the storylines were great. And yeah, it's a great show. Another series that I want to start is Vikings because Linda keeps encouraging me to watch the show, but I never got into it until now. The reason why I want to get into it now is because it focuses more on Ragnar's kids and his whole legacy basically in season 4. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, now I should probably start that show.
Yeah.
And
one that I want to start is, the first one is Legion. So, because I'm a huge Marvel fan, I like DC too. So, and like Legion is basically about Professor Xavier's son, and how he's like this powerful like mutant.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like the most powerful apparently like in the world or whatever. But it's the filming style is really different. Like, it's I don't know, it's satirical a little bit. Like when you see the trailer, it looks a little like there's some laughing moments and stuff, and you don't really find that a lot in like comic books and stuff. So I just want to give it a shot, and I like mutants and superpowers and all that stuff. And the second one is Outsiders, and I actually watched a couple episodes and then I stopped, not because it wasn't good, just because of school and life and stuff. But I'm gonna get back to it. But it's about these people who live on top of this mountain, and they're basically like they're seen as like savages and like uneducated and stuff, and they don't come down unless they need stuff. And when they come down because they need stuff, they just take it. They don't pay for it. They just like go to the grocery store and grab like matches and stuff and just like go. And you can't stop them because everyone's scared of them because like they're not scared to die, so they'll literally fight you. So everyone's scared of them and think they're like barbaric and stuff. So yeah, Outsiders, watch it.
And another series I want to watch is Victoria, and it's supposed to be about Queen Victoria and just her becoming a queen, and mostly focusing on like her early marriage years. So I just was interested in it because I've seen clips on YouTube, and it seems to take on a more romantic take, and just interesting like her relationship with her husband and becoming the queen and then becoming a mother. And I was just like, okay, this seems really cool, and I like those like European like history type drama series too. Yeah. And another series I want to watch, I've already started, is Big Little Liars. Sorry, Big Little Lies. And it's basically Big Little Lies is like based off of a book, an Australian novel, and basically it's been converted into a TV show on HBO again. And Zoe Kravitz is in it, Nicole Kidman, Reese Witherspoon. A whole bunch of like really great actors, and it's like a murder mystery, and we're trying to figure out who did what, and just what led up to the events of the murder and who was murdered. So it's really interesting so far.
For me, it's A Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah,
I don't really know much about it.
It's based off of a book by Margaret Atwood.
Canadian.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give that a shot. And the second one is Versailles. And it came out, I think a couple episodes came out.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah. So I want to give that a shot just because the main guy who plays the prince is actually, who becomes a king, is from Vikings. He played Athelstan.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. Oh. So I want to I need to, obviously support my people. So him and that show, I guess. So yeah, those two. And then Big Little Lies because now I have to watch it. So I'm going to give it a shot, though. I think the story's really good, and I like the actresses and the people and everything. So, yeah, I'll give it a go.
American Gods on Starz. Oh, my God, I'm so excited for that. We're reading the book right now. We're going to do a book club in the future on it. And, yeah, I just got interested in it because I love the book. I love anything written by Neil Gaiman. He's one of my favorite authors. And the show, from the trailers and from, like, the little pictures that people have leaked on Twitter mostly, it just looks like it's going to be great. And they shot it in Toronto. So
really?
Yeah, they did. So I'm like, yes. Because, like, they basically converted, like, Loblaws into, like, Costco's or one of those American, like, stores. And it's just like, whoa. But the way they shot it, like, from the trailer, it's just the lighting is so eerie and, like, it's so mystical. Like, I'm so excited. Yes. So, yeah. And what was your other shows that you want to see?
So The White Princess.
Yes.
Yeah, it's based off of a book series. And I watched The White Queen.
Yes.
And
She got me to watch that.
Yeah, it's really good. You guys need to watch it. And it's like a mini series. There's like, I don't even think there's
episodes?
Yeah, it's really short. And then so The White Princess, I'm watching it. It's like basically I think it's Henry VII. Yeah. And just, like, his story and stuff. And I really like... I don't think there's any magic and stuff, like, mystic stuff like it was in the White Queen. But I'm going to give it a go. And Iron Fist, because, like I said, I like Marvel and DC and all that. Mutants and stuff like that. So, yeah, and I watched I'm trying... I can't wait for the Defenders. And I watched Jessica Jones. And Luke Cage. And... Daredevil, so I obviously have to do Iron Fist and American Gods as well.
There's a show called Dark, I think, and it's on Netflix. It's coming this May, or it might be coming April. Like, it's coming soon. The trailer was released, and there's another series by this Korean director. It's also going to be on Netflix. There's like a whole bunch of series that are going on Netflix that I want to see. So yeah, just check on Netflix. If you don't have Netflix, just go see the series on Netflix, and then I'm sure you can like find it eventually online. But yeah.
So this one is our top 5 favorite books. So these are the books that we've read in the past. So let's go. Okay, so my first 2 are the last Harry Potter books. I read the first Harry Potter book, but I was like in grade 5 or something. I don't remember it. And I didn't keep up with the books because the movies came out, so I was like, why? But then I started to realize when I was talking to my friends and stuff, they were like, the books are so much better than the movies because they actually like leave out so much. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, then I'll give it a shot. And I read the last 2 books before the movies came out, and I was like, okay, damn, like these books are so good. So the last 2 books, which are The Half-Blooded Prince and The Deathly Hallows, are like
your favorite.
My favorite.
For me, the Seven Sleeper series, I didn't finish the series. I started it when I was probably like 12 or 11 or 13, not sure. Mm-hmm. But it's like a Christian adventure fantasy type series. And it's about these kids who kind of loosely based off characters in the Bible. And they're basically put asleep into these sleeping chambers by their parents, and then Armageddon happens, and you know, the world is kind of like messed up. And when they wake up, their parents have been dead for like maybe a year or 2, and or a couple of years, and they survive, and they have to like make it through this world and like kind of like follow this godlike figure and follow his message and like find a way to like defeat the evil forces. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's kind of like a hero type story, but like 7 kids. And yeah, another series that I really enjoyed was like Goosebumps novels. Like I definitely would want to go back and read some of them because when I was a kid I watched the TV show and I read a couple of the books and it was really good. The Veritas Project, again, it's another Christian fantasy novel, and there's only 2 of them, but it was about like this. The first one was about like these young kids in a school and how like they're kind of being like affected, manipulated, having to deal with like inner turmoil, and it has to do with like demons and all this stuff and angels and God. Like it's a really interesting series. And like the Harry Potter series, like that was one of my other favorites. And the Jewel Princesses, that was a series that I liked, and there was another series, like a princess series, that was like every novel was like about a different princess from a different country, and like it used to come in this Scholastic book orders. So like yeah, they have them, I remember, in the library, so it was really good. Yeah. My
next one is The Time Traveler's Wife. Mm-hmm. I read it over the summer because I watched the movie like a million times. It came out in like 2009, I think. Had to read the book, and then I read it, and they're so different, but they're equally, like, they can hold their own. The next one is the Vampire Academy series. Literally, my friends told me about this book, the series, like, maybe 2-3 years before I read it, and I remember we were, like, on a school trip, and they told me about the book, and I was like, I don't know, like, vampires, I don't do that. And then I read it, and I was like, what? And then after that, like, I read all the books, and there's, like, 5 or 6 of them or whatever, so
I think
it's like this thick.
So wasn't it a show?
It was like a movie, a really bad movie.
Oh, movie
that came out. My next one is so I like a lot. Okay, so I like a lot of history. So I read like the Machiavelli, like the story of the Prince. So I have like a book and it has like a couple of things that he wrote. So like the Prince and like Mandrake root stories. So there's like all these stories that he wrote and like just like the political stuff and everything, and the way he talks about like people and countries and like what you have to do to like be successful. I don't want to say just a prince, but like be a successful person or leader. Mm-hmm. And like he dedicated the book to like, first he dedicated it to Lorenzo de Medici's younger brother, but because he died he ended up giving it to Lorenzo himself. So I love that. My last one is the Vampire Diaries books. So I started...
You won't. I keep hearing like horror stories about those books.
No! Okay, so the show was coming out, and so I have this like passion for TV shows and movies. So if I find out that there's a project coming out and there's a book on it and I'm interested in the project, I will get that book and I will read it. That's why I'm reading American Gods.
Yes.
So when I found out about Vampire Diaries, I was like, well, I obviously have to read it. So my mom took me to Chapters and I bought like the first like 3 books. finish them like boom, boom, boom. And then the show came out. And I was like, what the hell? It's different. So different. Like it's so different. The characters are so different. Like in the beginning, I would say the first season was good. Like it could hold its own. And then some characters, I was like, why Bonnie? But then season 2, season 3, it started to like drop or whatever, but I was still obsessed with it, but it wasn't the same.
Yeah.
And then I stopped the show when the season that she became a vampire, because even though I waited for it for so long, that season was so
inconsistent.
It was just, I don't want to say bad, because I like the series, but that show.
Yeah, like the show, I liked the first maybe 3 seasons, and then after that, I was just like, what's going on? What's going on? Like, why are they treating Bonnie like this? I couldn't.
Even the way they morphed Elena was like,
yeah, and
crazy,
she was like, she became a Mary Sue. Like, just everyone was chasing after her, and she would do stupid stuff and get them in trouble, but like they'd feel sorry for her, and then like Bonnie was having nosebleeds all the time.
Yeah, literally, this girl has the power of 500 witches. Tell me how she tries to like telekinetically like open up a door, and this girl's like, and you're like Bonnie.
We're like, where the hell is what's happening to Bonnie?
She's like aneurysm on the phone. They're just like nah. I'm like going through the school trying to find the killer. Why is there a killer in the school every day? Where is the principal?
Yeah, and then other times she would just like not be there on the show. Like her storyline started getting less and less and less.
This
once
girl
her family died.
Yeah, every day.
It's just like, oh my, where the hell is Bonnie? Every episode, where's Bonnie? Like,
and no one cared about her. Like at one point, her and Damon died, and Elena was crying over Damon. I was like, really?
Yeah, it was just bad. Yeah.
Seriously, this girl died.
But I recommend the first couple seasons were really good.
Yeah, the first like 3,
really
and then 4 is like
downhill.
Yeah.
So contact us, like, subscribe, and we will see you later.
Bye.